For traveling, plein air, when you're working outside, a great option is a smaller size palette. They have the cakes with the colors, and you've got your mixing areas. This is a metal palette. It's schminky. It's a high-end. This is what I use when I go to Europe. It's great, small, compact, fits in your suitcase. It's awesome. I wouldn't be using this though when I'm working in my art studio at home, because I want bigger wells. These are called wells, and I want bigger mixing spaces for me personally. It comes down to a personal preference of what you want and what you're looking for, but this is a great travel palette. Another option, this is a little bit bigger. This one, it's important that you get them, always make sure you get a lid on these, because once you paint, the paints get wet and juicy and they can get all over everything if you don't have a top. So I highly recommend getting a top with your palette. This is a little bit bigger. This is a good option. This is another plein air palette that I take out when I'm painting outside. Plenty of mixing room, and that's important. Some people love the option of putting fresh paint out every time that they paint. So you'll just take your tubes of paint and you'll put your colors, and this gives you a big option of plenty of room to be mixing your colors. This is called a butcher tray. Butcher trays are great. It's a little heavy, a little bit bigger. Great, I would say, for a studio when you're working at home. It does not have a lid, and each time you would have to put out your fresh paint. What I paint on in my home studio and when I teach my classes, when I travel, is a Robert Wood. Cheap Joe's, Dick Blick, I'll give you a supply list of where you can order palettes, and they have all different options online, or you can go to art supply stores. It's good to take a look at them and see, because there's many different options. But I use a Robert Wood palette, and it has, on the top, it has 4 different mixing areas. Besides, when you open it up, it has 2 more large mixing areas. So it gives me plenty of space when I'm using a large brush. That's why I get challenged if I want to use a big wash brush using these tiny little wells. And a well is where you put the paint to get that brush, big brush, in a small well. So that's why I started using this, and I've continued using this size in my home studio. And when I teach, nice big wells, plenty of mixing space, and with a top. Lightweight.